Hey, it is Nerdad, and we are back playing Baldur's Gate 3. So, today, a couple things on the agenda. One of the things we're going to be taking care of is talking to the Myconid colony. There's a lot of quests that we're gonna pick up in this place. We're also going to respec Nerdad the Paladin and Shadowheart the Cleric. So last time we had talked a little bit because Nerdad was a fighter. We kind of discussed a little bit about Nerdad staying a paladin, or if he should stay a fighter or go something totally different. And the consensus was that we were going to keep him as a paladin. But I am going to alter his build a little bit. Not too terribly much, but I want to turn him into a little bit more of a smiting machine. And actually, uh, yeah, we'll go ahead and do that today. All right, and then for Shadowheart, I'm not really healing with her a huge amount because there are plenty of ways to heal. When I say plenty of ways, I mean plenty of potions. There are so many potions of healing out there. Those potions of healing are like if you want to use it on yourself, it's a bonus action. I've got plenty of bonus actions available to drink potions, and if I do want to do multi-person healing with a potion of healing, then it is an action. But even still, like being able to heal people, like heal multiple people for the cost of one action, totally worth it. So I'm not gonna focus on her being a life cleric. We're actually gonna switch a little bit over to have her be more of a damage dealer, and we'll be doing a Tempest cleric and multi-spec into sorcerer with her. The other thing that I wanted to show you guys, and I actually saw this because I did my post stream inventory management and selling, and whenever I rearrange some of my bags, you can see here in Shadowheart we have got all of the quest items, or unique items, or non-sellable items, I guess. But we've got a whole bunch of Mind Flayer Parasite specimens that we've been holding onto for a while. And even Nerdad has a Mind Flayer Parasite specimen. But, one of the big deals is that whenever we move this over here,
This one is a true soul
it
parasite.
triggers a cutscene that I wanted you guys to
It
see.
can enhance you. You can absorb its potential. Open your mind to it. You already know how.
I wonder if the already know how is when we got initially infected with a tadpole. Open your mind to the tadpole.
Your mind swells as it subsumes everything that Tadpole has to offer. Everything it was and everything it was destined to be. Pure potential. Pure power.
Good. You have grown your power and improved your chances of survival.
All right. Let me make sure that the sound is all the way up. I believe I had that turned down. Yeah. You guys should be able to hear the game a little bit better now. So now that we have absorbed that tadpole, what we have are illithid powers, and these are kind of similar to a talent tree. And so there are some really fantastic things that we have available here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go through the inner tier of powers, and then we'll go through the second tier of powers. And whenever we get these other powers unlocked on the outer tier, we'll talk about those. But for now, we're going to leave those. So what these will do is generally, these are either short rest or long rest abilities, or just like extra skills, extra like spell-like abilities. So what we're going to do is we're going to be taking some of these, because some of these are incredibly powerful and incredibly useful. So we have here Psionic Overload. Your attacks deal just an additional amount of damage, but you take damage every turn. This is worth it if you have, like multi-attack and, like a pretty highly accurate character. So like somebody like Astarion, who, especially when hasted, gets so many shots. Taking 1 to 4 psychic damage every turn in exchange for dealing 1 to 4 psychic damage for every single one of his many attacks would totally be worth it. Transfuse health. There are certain builds that actually take enormous advantage out of this, but what this does is it sucks out half of your remaining hit points to heal a target by that same amount. So this would be good on somebody like Nerdad, who has just a crazy amount of hit points. And there are some weapons in the game where some of the effects, and these are powerful effects, but they only trigger whenever you have half or fewer hit points remaining. So this is a really good way to force yourself to that 50% or less mark. Oh, and in the middle, it does have your illithid persuasion, which is what we've been using on occasion to kind of force people to do what we want based off of the illithid. This resets every long rest. Concentrated blast. So if you are concentrating on a spell and you use this, then you can deal a little bit of damage. Actually, a pretty good amount of damage. Like 6 to 36 is a really good amount of damage. And not only that, but this is a per turn reset. So you can do this 6 to 36 basically for free as long as you're concentrating on a spell. And a lot of times we'll be concentrating on a spell. But one of the cool things with this is if your target is concentrating also, you will heal the damage that was dealt to it. So this is a really cool illithid power. And then we have Force Tunnel. You charge forward, and whenever you charge forward, you push everything in your path away from you. This is a really good movement ability. Not my favorite thing, but it is really good for changing the layout of the battle. And then Favorable Beginnings. The first attack roll or ability check you make against any target gains a bonus equal to your proficiency bonus. This right off the bat is really fantastic. It's particularly fantastic for people like Astarion, who has that Dread Ambusher ability, which is a free extra shot that he gets to take in the first round of combat, and that free extra shot does a good amount of extra damage. So being able to have his proficiency bonus added to the first attack roll is really great. One of the other cool things with this is if you are in conversation with a target, then the first time that you do like a charisma check or whatever is going to have that proficiency bonus on top of the proficiency bonus that we already have for it. So really cool passive feature. But the reason that this is so useful, and in fact we're going to go ahead and take this. Oh, sorry, you click. I was waiting for the tadpole to go into the place that I clicked, but I clicked it and it's got the tadpole, so we're gonna insert it into our brain. So now we have this Favorable Beginnings, but the reason that this is so cool is you can see here this unlocked 2 of the outer or the middle tier illithid powers. And this is what we want this for, the Luck of the Far Realms. And so once per long rest, you can change a successful attack roll into a critical hit. This is so awesome. This is so awesome. So first off, again, people like Astarion who have that Dread Ambusher thing, where it's already doing a good amount of damage, plus he will be getting sneak attack here pretty soon. Being able to do a guaranteed critical hit on that sort of situation is so great. It is so great. So, and not only that, but for a paladin, whenever you have a critical strike, you also have the option of using Divine Smite. Divine Smite is a whole nother set of dice that you can roll on a critical hit, and all dice on a critical hit are doubled. So this is really good for getting a ton of extra smite damage. So we're going to go ahead and take that. And so what we'll do is we'll kind of go around and talk about the rest of these abilities. So ability drain, excuse me, y'all. Once per turn, which again is a really nice feature. When you make an attack roll, the attack reduces that target's corresponding ability by 1. And so this is either going to be strength or dex, basically. And well, unless you're casting a spell, in which case it'll be your spell casting ability. This is pretty cool. This will help. Like, you can think of this as reducing their saving throw checks. I mean, it's gonna have a couple of other like nice-ish things, like, you know, their attack rolls aren't going to hit as much. Their defense is also probably going to go down because most monsters have a lot of dexterity contributes a lot to their defense. So this is just across the board. It's going to make the enemies a little bit worse. So pretty cool. Stage fright. Your targets have disadvantage on attack rolls and take psychic damage each time that they miss. This is pretty good for like smaller minions and stuff like that, because as you do this on like some of the smaller minions and whatnot, and it is a short rest recharge, so I mean it's probably better against bosses, but bosses have a tendency to hit pretty regularly. But being able to have disadvantage on those attack rolls, and also, you know, taking a little bit of a damage every turn is really good for wiping out like pesky minions that you're just having trouble downing. Again, I probably won't be taking that one, but we'll see. Perilous Stakes. Invest a creature with power that heals it when it attacks, but also makes it vulnerable to all damage. This is another fantastic ability. So making it vulnerable to all damage, especially if you are starting off with somebody like Astarion, who gets, like, you know, 7 attacks per round, or even Nerdad, who when hasted is going to get a pretty crazy number of attacks per round. Making it vulnerable to your attacks is well worth the 2d8 that they're going to heal. This is only on a long rest, but that's just an indication of how good this is. So this right here, combined with Luck of the Far Realms, is enormously powerful, because that means that your first turn, you're going to not only have extra proficiency added to your first attack roll, but you can also make this an guaranteed crit, which means that you can use Divine Smite, which is going to be a guaranteed crit. And all that, if you put on Perilous Stakes before that, it will make them vulnerable to this guaranteed crit. It's fantastic how much damage this can do. And not only that, but this lasts for 3 whole dang turns. So, all right. In fact, we're probably going to go ahead and take that. It's just kind of a question of, do I want to do Psionic Overload, or do I want to do Transfuse Health? Probably Psionic Overload, but I'll fiddle around with that later. Shield of Thralls. It conjure a volatile shield around yourself or an ally, granting the target 10 temporary hit points. And if these temporary hit points are lost because of damage, then it stuns everything around it. So this is restored on short rest, but it lasts all the livelong day until your next long rest. But the stun itself is for 1 turn, but that is usually all that is needed. And on top of that, here's another really cool thing. The stun is an intelligence save. There are not many intelligence saves, and there are a lot of creatures and monsters that have incredibly low intelligence. So this is actually a pretty darn good Illithid power. I'm probably not going to take it just because of the limited number of tadpoles that are available. But still, this is really good at defense. It's also really good at offense. So, and it is worth noting, like, that the stun is an AoE sort of thing. So, Psionic Backlash: when an enemy within 30 feet casts a spell, you could use your reaction to inflict 1d4 psychic damage to the caster per spell level. This can be useful. This is a good way to get, like, reliable damage. It's almost like an opportunity attack for whenever somebody does a cast. And 30 feet is not very long at all. Like, so you have to be relatively close to them, and 1d4 psychic damage, even per level, is not fantastic. But this does not have like a cooldown, so to speak. You can use it every single time that you have a reaction. So, can be nice. It can add up. Not probably something that we're going to be taking. Cull the Weak. When you bring a creature down to fewer hit points than your number of evolved illithid powers, it dies, and all nearby creatures take 1d4 psychic damage. This one I don't really care for too much. We're not going to have an enormous number of illithid powers. I mean, like, we're going to be kind of spreading the illithid powers like across multiple characters. So I don't think this is super worth it. And on top of that, like, it is nice. Like, if you really wanted to focus on illithid powers on one character, it could actually be super nice because it does automatically kill them. Like, if you fill this thing out, it could kill things like pretty darn quickly, but the 1d4 psychic damage is just not super great. Repulsor, this is just, you do force damage and it pushes stuff back. It is a strength save, which is not a super great save to have something against. Displace. This can be useful if you just really enjoy pushing people off of ledges. They'll just take an additional 1d8 psychic damage. It's kind of cool. Sometimes it's a little hard to get things into position so that you can push them off. But if you're really focusing on that, if you're really trying to lay things out so that you are pushing things off of ledges, this is definitely one to take. And then Charm. This basically takes something out of attacking you for one turn. I don't really care for this. I mean, it's nice. It is nice to take things out of commission, but like, until their next turn is not super wonderful. I don't know. I feel like this is a waste of a tadpole right here. So what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and go to Astarion, and we are going to give him Favorable Beginnings as well. And we are going to give him Luck of the Far Realms. So the reason that I'm not taking Perilous Stakes right now is because I'm kind of debating who I want to give this to. Because again, like, I could go Psionic Overload, and actually no, I don't think that's not going to unlock that. So it's this one. Yeah, Transfuse Health. I mean, yeah, sure, it's an enormous amount of healing.
Can't give up now.
It does take up an action, and the sacrifice that you have to make in order to do that is just not fantastic. One of the nice things is like Nerdad would be the one that would take this, and he is hard to hit because of his armor class. So I don't know. This feels like a waste of a tadpole as well, but Perilous Stakes is really good. So you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and grab this. That is Nerdad, and he gets Perilous Stakes. All right. So all right, with all that, I actually did not mean to do that on this save. I wanted to show you guys the cutscene where we get our illithid powers, but let me go ahead and load my actual save, and we'll do this all again. I won't talk about it obviously, but we'll be able to. Some of the other stuff that I did offline, off stream, off camera last time is, like I said, I took care of some vendor stuff. So now we have a good amount of vendor stuff happening. Let's go ahead and get these illithid powers going on. Oh, did not mean to do that.
Is that?
So Nerdad gets Favorable Beginnings. He gets Luck of the Far Realms. He gets whatever this one is called, Transfuse Health. There we go, and Perilous Stakes. And then Astarion is going to get Favorable Beginnings and Luck of the Far Realms. And again, the main reason that I'm giving just Nerdad and just Astarion the Luck of the Far Realms for right now is because they have ways to get extra damage dice on their crits. And that's Sneak Attack for Astarion, and that is Smite for Nerdad. All right, and with that, Astarion has some stuff to talk about.
So, you've indulged. Just helped yourself to a little more power, I see. And there isn't a tentacle to be seen. Not a bad deal, I'd say.
Yeah, this is a little gross.
My only complaint is that you didn't want to share. I wouldn't mind indulging myself.
So this is a little goofy because I have given him illithid powers. Yeah, see, I wasn't sure you'd want to indulge in this.
I admit I wasn't keen to be the first to try it, just in case there were any surprise side effects.
I was his guinea pig.
But now that we know it's safe, I'm all for experimenting.
Maybe another time.
I might just hold you to that.
Thanks, bro. All right. And real quick, I'm going to talk to the other people in the party just
Come
to
on,
see.
man, don't leave me in suspense. How are you feeling? No errant tentacles? No sudden cravings for a more cerebral diet?
Let's see. I'm feeling great. Consuming these tadpoles could give us quite the advantage. Now that you mention it, I do feel a sudden, unrelenting urge to crack open your... never mind. No signs of ceramorphosis taking effect, if that's your concern. Yeah, we'll do that one.
I was rather more curious to know what benefits the tadpole might have bestowed. No doubt the benefits of your change in diet will become apparent soon enough. Was there another matter you wish to discuss?
And I'll leave. And then this is the one I'm worried about, Shadowheart. She does not like the idea of using tentacles. Or, tadpoles.
It was bad enough having just one of those tadpoles forced upon us. I can scarcely believe you actually inflicted another on yourself.
Yeah, she's not happy. These illithid powers we're developing, what do you make of them?
On one hand, they seem useful. But on the other hand, or perhaps tentacle before long, we know where they're coming from. And what lies at the end of that path.
We're protected,
I
it's
never
fine.
expected ceramorphosis to be tempting. I think we should resist these powers. There's simply too many unknowns for us to risk it.
Oh. Persuasion check. The odds are stacked against us. Can we truly afford to ignore a potential advantage? Oh, and I can't get my guidance because she's my guidance person. And I don't have the necklace equipped. Yeah.
Well,
Easy peasy.
perhaps you have a point. Fine. Let's explore these powers then. I just hope we don't come to regret it.
All right. We'll go ahead and leave. And I think we were good. Last time we did talk to these two. So what we're going to do is we're going to head on back down, and we're going to talk to basically all of the mushroom people. Although there's one in particular that we do need to talk to. And I believe most of these aren't going to have too much to say. Yeah, you can't even talk to the spore
I should
serpents.
speak up.
Fungus and mold glaze the grotesque creature's face and body. A voice drifts into your mind as you gaze upon the misshapen servant.
Leave this one. Come to me. We must speak.
So it's cool. Again, we kind of have like a Borg effect going on, and they want me to talk to the sovereign here.
Seek me. Seek the sovereign.
So maybe we'll do the sovereign here instead of talking to all of these guys. But first, I can't grab those. We'll go down this direction across like the more southern side of things. And there is one other, or actually a couple of other people that we want to talk to first. Actually, I'm going to hold off on talking to them. Because what we're going to do is we're going to talk right over here.
Seems the shrooms are letting in more people every day. You see a fella on his own on your way in. Dwarf. Balin's his name.
Deception, yes, I've met him. What are you doing down here? Can you describe him? Haven't seen him. Yeah.
Bald, blue tunic, dumb as a stick.
Let's see. What are you doing down here?
Right now, waiting for that idiot Balin's return. Unless you've seen him, we don't have much to discuss.
There must be something else you're up to.
Like I told you already, I'm waiting for that lummox Balin. The rest is my own business.
Now, she's kind of got that elf, like, look down her nose thing going on. Haven't seen him.
Right. Never mind.
Who is he to you?
My useless husband. Sent him for an errand. It's no surprise he's made a mess of it.
I need some help finding him?
Knock yourself out. But don't come begging for coin if you find him. You try to ransom him to me, you'll find yourself skint and stuck with a fat old lout.
Oh, the love and the care. All right. So she has, I think, a couple things that we're gonna grab here. Although maybe not. Yeah, maybe not. Okay. I may have honestly already grabbed him. Silver pendant. Yeah. See, that was the thing I should have equipped before I talked to Shadowheart. Oh well. All right. Let me see if there is. Oh yeah, right off the bat, I need to sell these silver ingots. Actually, no. I do not want to sell them to her. I want to sell them to the other guy because I already have the my affinity with him maxed out. All right.
Want master back. He treats me good now. Doesn't kick me anymore.
So this is the first indication that there is something a little bit goofy going on with Balin, and his relationship with other people. All right, with that, we're gonna go ahead and head up to the Sovereign area. Oh, and there's a mushroom that I can actually grab. Cool. Most of the mushrooms in this area are off limits, because they're like nephews to all the people in here or something.
What is the creature doing to those corpses?
I have a couple people to talk to again.
Don't.
Her condition is familiar. Poison, derived from a wild weed common to the Underdark. She'll need an antidote soon, most likely held by the poisoner.
All right. So you're in a bad way. I could end your suffering if you want. Oh, man. Who did this to you?
Dwegar slashed me.
If the Dwergar poisoned you, perhaps... Oh, actually, let's see. Consider what you know of Dwergar poison lore. Let's give this a try. Again, he is not the best medicine person, but this does have advantage, so we'll give it a try. Oh, and we do get guidance. How wonderful. That was kind of close.
Like dwarves, Dwegar have innate resistance to poison, and thus no need for intricate brews. Though deadly if left untreated, the poison can be cured by the antidote or natural remedies.
All right. Sit tight. There must be more than one way to cure you. How did you end up here? I might ask her that just to...
Myconids. Oh, took pity on me. Sound lads, especially since the Greys gave them hell for it.
Paragons of hospitality, these Myconids. The druids in the grove could have learned a thing or two.
Sounds like she's still bitter. Sit tight. There must be more than one way to cure you. Although I might just give her an antitoxin. We'll see how that goes. Actually, I wonder what that takes out. If it just takes out an antidote or one of the more powerful items that I have that I probably should have saved and waited for.
Gods. Whatever that is, I needed it. Why are you helping me?
I'm a paladin. How could I pass by? You were in pain.
No arguments there. Felt like a hook horror was sorting through my guts. But that cure did the trick.
quick shot too.
I thank you for your help, but I gotta get moving. Oh,
It hurts.
Girls, garters. Oh, I don't have time for this. My kin need me.
You are in no condition to help anyone. Take it easy and tell me what I can do. Focus on what I need. Reward for starters.
Seems you're the helping kind. All right. I need you to rescue my kin. Not charity, mind. We can pay. We're Iron Hand Clan. Best artificers in Baldur's Gate. We were on an expedition down here when the Dwergar snatched us up. I got away, but not the others. The Greys have them digging out some old ruin across the lake.
What was this expedition your clan was on?
Just mining for materials. Nothing unusual.
The briefest hesitation, but enough. She's lying.
But our
Gotta love
work
inside
pays
checks.
well. Help my clan, and we'll make it worth your while. I swear.
Persuasion, you're lying. Ooh, that's a hefty DC. Even heftier dice roll though.
Fine. It's complicated, but my clan has trouble back in the city. A blood feud. We were searching for something to turn the tide. That's all I can say. But it's worth a lot to us. Understand?
No, I don't understand. Enough evasion and explain it. All right, I'll for your people if I can. Sorry, you're gonna have to save them yourself. Yeah, I want to know what's going on. Dang it.
Look, you've done me a good turn and you deserve the truth. But that's as much of it as I can tell. I swear it. If you need to go your own way, I respect that. But still, I'm asking.
All right, I'll free your people if I can.
Thank you. Only wish I could go with you. Here. I nabbed these boots from the Greys when I ran. I'll feel better knowing you're using them to kick some Dwergar ass.
Language.
I'll mark where I made my escape, and wait here, I suppose. Not much choice, eh?
All right. So the boots that we got are boots of speed. Boots of speed are actually pretty darn cool. I like these a lot. So what this allows us to do is click heels, and as a bonus action, what this does is it basically gives you the dash action. But so not only does your movement speed double like you would with a dash, you also all your enemies have disadvantage on opportunity attacks against you, which is really, really cool. So typically, see, I would want to kind of give these to Astarion, but Astarion already kind of has that bonus action dash, thanks to being a rogue, or at least he will in another few levels. So I'm going to give these boosts of speed to Astarion right now, with the understanding that we're going to take him off once he becomes like a level 2 rogue here in another couple levels. But in the meantime, those will last us a pretty good amount of time. All right. And none of these are lootable, so we won't worry about that too much. We'll talk to Sovereign Spa here.
The Sovereign's thick fingers stroke the corpse at its feet. A droning melody greets you as the creature turns its gaze to you.
Super creepy.
Flesh talker, I show you a memory. Watch and listen.
A violent vision grips you. Dwergar, dark dwarves chopping myconid remains.
That dude looks
They
crazy.
broke our peace. They killed our young.
The Sovereign's song slows to the pace of a dirge. It is still in mourning.
We laid waste to many, but intruders remain. Lakewood.
The Sovereign's song halts as it measures your worth.
These guys kind of remind me
I
of
sense
the
your
aliens from
resolve.
Independence Day.
You will find Dwergar invaders near Lake's Edge. Cleanse the rot Destroy them.
Dwagar invaders. We can manage that. Better than picking this fight, surely.
They could read your thoughts, Shadowheart. Jeez. Let's see. Lots of good options. Why did these Dwargar attack? Sure, I can handle those Dwargar nearby. Planting spores in a corpse. What magic is this? Forget it. If you want them dead, you can kill them yourself. And then, Oath of the Ancients. I will cleanse the rot. I will visit nature's wrath upon them. we will take this, but I wanna look at this first.
Deep purples swirl into familiar shapes. Gnomes in mining gear, chased by Dwagar.
The Dwagar seek a gnome. It is a guest.
You harbor a fugitive gnome. That's admirable of you.
The Sovereign says nothing, but you hear appreciation in its song.
You know, I gotta find some different armor for either me or Shadowheart, because this whole like wearing the same armor, it's like it's embarrassing. It's like when you go to work or go to class or whatever, and you're wearing the same thing as somebody else. I mean, somebody gotta go home and change. Dang it. Sure, I can handle those Dwargar nearby.
An illusion comes over you. A Dwagar choking on a cloud of gleaming dust.
Accept this gift. It will help you exterminate.
It's so creepy hearing that from this guy. It will help you exterminate.
The Sovereign gifts you one more vision. A wall of vines parting to reveal glowing light.
Riches of magic and mind. Cleanse the rot, and they are yours. You do the circle a service. We will await word.
I will cleanse the rot. I will visit nature's wrath upon
An
them.
illusion comes over you. A Dwagar.
Oh, that
choking
was
on a cloud of
just
gleaming
another
dust.
another response that we had to the same thing.
Accept this gift.
The Sovereign gifts you one more vision.
Riches of
Yeah,
do
yeah,
the circle a service.
We already heard this. All right.
We will
Planting
await
spores in a
word.
corpse. What magic is this?
We breathe life into our enemy's flesh. The dead make a fine host for my growing children.
If I die down here, destroy my corpse.
The spore magic is repulsive. You die by my hand. These spores hold such power. How might I gain this knowledge? Yeah, sure.
You may not. The spores hear only the circle. They dance to no other harmony.
All right. Yeah, hey, Spore Grenade. This is pretty cool. So this is basically a potion of speed, but a little bit easier to use because the radius is a little bit larger. So we can use this instead of a potion of speed for the next couple of hastes that we want to do. All right.
It greets you with a harrowing elegy, cheerless as the new moon.
Let's see. We want to leave that. Now we can kind of chat with. Oh, jeez. We can chat with some of the other Myconids. I mean, again, it's just more about being like thorough, and not really something that we need to take care of. There is definitely one Myconid that we need to talk to.
Fleshwalker.
And it's this guy.
Tongue talker. Far you've come. Reach into memory. Tell me of home.
My home is wherever I travel. Fill your heart with memories of your most treasured places. Envision the banks of the Kyanthar, green and fertile. Imagine the bustle of the city's marketplace, the wide. Recall the shadowed grottos and winding tunnels of the Great Rift. And bring to mind your oath, a verdant glade safe from harm. Yeah, we'll do that one.
It reveals its own home in reply. A humid cove filled with decaying Myconid corpses.
Poor guy.
Dwagar destroyed my people. I am a sovereign with no circle. This circle does not welcome me. But I have heard the song. You mean to cleanse the Dwergar rot. I mean to join you.
So this guy will join us as like basically like a summon. Are you sure it's going to be dangerous? Join me, that depends. Can you make yourself useful? Join me, an enemy of the Dwargar is a friend to me. I don't need your help. I'm not traveling with some overgrown mushroom. And then let us go together. The rot must be cleansed.
Remain in the Underdark, and I will follow. We cleanse the rot together.
So yeah, this guy will stick with you until you move around, and I believe that we are going to move around a little bit because what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get this respec in place now. It is worth noting, like, we still have another short rest remaining, but we are running low on spell slots for basically everybody. We had that spectator fight, and then we also had the I can't remember what that thing is called, the burrowing thing. Both of which were pretty rough, and so we're running pretty low. So a long rest is coming here pretty soon. Yeah, Gale's out of level 2s and level 3s. I can go ahead and restore something with Arcane Recovery, but jeez, even Astarian's kind of running low. So just heads up, we will be looking to short rest or long rest here relatively soon. However, I want to show you guys another kind of cool trick that you can do in as much as you have the gold. So we're going to jump back over here. Oh, and Glut sticks with us. That's pretty cool. Oh, because the camp is in the Underdark. He said as long as you remain in the Underdark. Yeah. Let's see what he has to say.
It is time.
He's very impatient.
Take death to the Dwergar.
All right, chill.
Breathe deep.
And I do, since we're already in camp, we'll go ahead and talk to everybody else and see if they have anything to say.
Welcome to the League of the Lone Eye, my friend. Not to minimize the pain of Volo's
I like
poking
we
and
already had
prodding,
this dialogue too.
but I promise, you'll be used to the prosthesis in no time.
At least mine can actually
Besides,
see, bud.
I find it gives one an air of mystique. No one's more intriguing than a man with one eye.
What do you think of the illative potential the Dream Visitor spoke of? These are all conversations we've already had, my guy. Come on. All right, I'm going to save real quick, and then we will go ahead. Actually, I really don't need to respec Nerdad right now. I was going to focus on making a Sorkaden, a sorcerer and paladin multi-class. But I think I'm going to try, just temporarily, I think I'm going to try doing a Lokaden and just see how that goes. We've got a little bit of extra gold. We can spare it right now.
Dost thou require a new as thou...
All right. So for this, we're going to start off with like 2 levels of Oath of Vengeance. And again, this is going to be basically focused on smiting as much as possible, and then using Eldritch Blast at a distance. Let's see, and again, Oath of Vengeance does give us Inquisitor's Might. For 2 turns, we deal additional damage, and we can possibly daze. And for abilities, what we're going to do is, we'll go ahead and clear this out. We're going to keep strength relatively low, because as a warlock, we're going to be going with Pact of the Blade, which is going to allow us to bind our weapon to Nerdad, and by doing that, we're going to be able to use our charisma as our attack stat. So we'll go ahead and do Dex 12, Con 14, and then Int 8 and Wisdom 10. And then we'll go ahead and max that out at 16. And we have space for 1 more point. Just kind of stinks. Take that down to 12 maybe. Oh, actually I don't want. Yeah, geez, let's decrease that a little bit. There we go. And then yeah, we'll take strength back up to there, and we'll increase wisdom to 12. Always good to have extra wisdom for perception checks and whatnot. Let's see. Intimidation, definitely. Persuasion, definitely. Insight, also good. Yeah, we'll keep it with all that. And let's go ahead and level this guy up. And we're going to do a second level of... second level of Paladin. We're going to go ahead and take Great Weapon Fighting. Just because I am going to want to take like Polearm Master and stuff like that as a feat later on. So yeah, we'll keep it Great Weapon Fighting. Great Weapon Fighting, really cool. When you roll a 1 or a 2 on a damage die for an attack with a two-handed melee weapon, the die is re-rolled once. So this is a really good way for us to really not maximize our damage, but really improve our damage. And two-handed weapons already have like really good damage ranges. So yeah. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to dip into Warlock. Cantrips. So we are definitely going to have Eldritch Blast. Eldritch Blast is, again, I've said it before, I think quite possibly the best, one of the best spells in the game, and definitely the best cantrip in the game. So for the other one, we're going to go ahead and take Bone Chill just to prevent stuff from healing too much. Friends might be good too, though. Yeah, we're going to do Friends instead of Bone Chill, and we'll take Bone Chill a little bit later. All right. So for subclass, what we're looking at is possibly the Fiend or the Great Old One. The Archfey really isn't what we're looking for, so I'm going to go ahead and stick with the Great Old One for right now. Again, just to kind of maximize our damage, and this does synergize pretty well with Luck of the Far Realm, which we just took as an Illithid power. But when you land a critical hit against a creature, that creature and any nearby creatures must succeed a Wisdom saving throw or become frightened until the end of the next turn. And frightened is a really good condition because they can't move, and then they also have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls. Not saving throws. Not saving throws, it is worth mentioning. Just ability checks and attack rolls, which is still pretty great. All right, for spells. Pretty much any... Oop, not that one. Anytime I'm going to level up a Warlock, the first two levels that I'm going to take are going to be Armor of Agathis and Arms of Hadar, and then the next level that I take will be Hex. So, but let me go through some of these Warlock spells, because I don't think we've gone over these before. Actually, we may have with when we were leveling up Will. So, just real quick, Armor of Agathis. You get 5 temporary hit points, and then anytime anything hits you, it does 5 cold damage to that. Well, anything that hits you with a melee attack. It's going to do 5 damage. And one of the cool things with this is, so Warlocks get a very limited number of spell slots, but those spell slots recharge on short rest, not on long rest, and the spell slots increase in spell level as you increase your Warlock level. So one of the cool things with Armor of Agathis is for every level that it increases, it does an additional 5, both on the temporary hit points and the 5 and the cold damage. So, like when this gets upgraded to level 2, it's going to be 10 temporary hit points and 10 cold damage to any creature that hits you with a melee attack. And one kind of cool thing that you could do is to fish out attacks against you. And again, Nerdad's got a pretty high armor class, so it's going to be a little bit rough to actually pull this off because a lot of these opportunity attacks are going to hit. But what you can do is run through a group of enemies, intentionally triggering their opportunity attacks, and anything that hits you will deal damage to the individuals that are doing it. And as the levels go up, it's going to be quite a bit more than the opportunity attack is actually doing. Then we have Arms of Hadar. Arms of Hadar is going to be one of the first spells that we replace eventually, but for right now, it's actually fairly okay. So Arms of Hadar, it's just flat out necrotic damage, but then it also allows you to, like, it shuts down reactions whenever it actually connects with people. And not only that, but it is an AoE an AoE damage spell. So that means that if you are in a sticky situation where you need to get like your ranged people out or your spellcasters out of a big group of people, you can do Arms of Hadar, and if it does connect, it shuts down the reactions. They can move freely, or at least in a more safe way. Let's see, other stuff. Hellish Rebuke. Yeah, react to your next attacker with flames that deal damage. This one I never think is worth taking. Hex, though, we will be taking that, and in fact, let's go ahead and just accept this because we have another level of Warlock to take. Alright, so spells here, we are going to take Hex. Hex is really cool. It's a bonus action, and so every time that you Hex a creature, they take 1 additional necrotic damage, and again, that's going to go up as levels go up. But it will also give them disadvantage on ability checks of your choosing. So generally speaking, what we're going to be doing is hexing either strength or dexterity, just to avoid like shoves and stuff like that. Not a whole lot of other use for this, but like the extra necrotic damage, this is kind of similar to like a sneak attack or Hunter's Mark and other damage classes. And if the target dies before the spell ends, you can hex a new creature without expending a spell slot. As usual with these little spells that do additional damage, it is a concentration spell, which does kind of stink, but the range on it's pretty good. It is always prepared. Or no, I guess not always prepared. I mean, it's a Warlock, of course, it's going to be always prepared, but still a fantastic spell, and part of what makes Warlocks really good at like single target damage. Warlocks are fantastic with just about any type of damage, like AoE damage, like multi-target damage, single-target damage. They're really good. Warlock is a really cool class. All right, Eldritch Invocations. What we're going to be doing is Repelling Blast and Agonizing Blast. What this is going to do, Repelling Blast, when you hit something with an Eldritch Blast, it's going to push them back 15 feet. This is, in general, pretty cool. So this is going to allow you to be a savior from on high whenever, you know, like, again, when a spellcaster or a ranged has somebody sticking to them and you just need them you need to free them up so that they can have, you know, some space to actually do the things that they're good at. This will allow you to push those enemies away from a distance with your Eldritch Blast. Not only that, but you can knock people off of ledges so that they take damage. You can also knock people into chasms and insta-kill them. Just all kinds of really cool stuff. Lots of uses for that. And then Agonizing Blast. It's a little early to be taking Agonizing Blast, I think. You really want this once you have multiple instances, like multiple copies of Eldritch Blast, which I believe happens at level 5. You'll be able to cast multiple Eldritch Blast every turn, or every cast of Eldritch Blast. So, but what this does is it adds your Charisma modifier to the Eldritch Blast damage. So that means that when in the higher levels, when you are casting like 2 Eldritch Blasts at a time, then your Charisma modifier is going to get added to each Eldritch Blast, which is really great. Really great. So that's what we'll be doing for the Eldritch Invocations. We aren't going to replace a spell right now. Alright. So at this point, our Warlock spells have gotten up to level 2, I believe. And then we are able to gain a spell, and we also get our Pact at this point. So with a Warlock, one of the things that I really like doing is Hold Person or Darkness. And Darkness is really good in particular with Eldritch Blast, with Repelling Blast, because you can just pop a Darkness down, and that means that nothing inside of the darkness is able to get shoot out of the darkness. So they're incapacitated for a while, but then whenever they come out of the darkness, you can just Eldritch Blast them right back in, and plus do damage at the same time as you're repelling them back. So really, really good synergy. And if you want to take later on the Eldritch Invocation Devil Sight, you'll be able to see inside of that darkness as well. Although I have heard that there's a bug where that does not work. I've never actually tested it, so let me know in the comments or in the chat if that is still the case. The other thing that works really, really well is Hold Person. And Hold Person, the reason that Hold is so good is that the affected entity, of course, is basically in stasis. They cannot do anything. But check this out. Attacks against the entity are always critical hits if the attacker is within 10 feet. And again, we're going to be turning into smite machines. And so having that so that they're always critical hits, for our smites to be critical hits as well, really, really useful. Another good option, this is always a good option, is invisibility. I really don't care too much for invisibility. It's really good for getting things set up, but it actually doesn't help in combat itself. So you can take it or leave it. Some other good options, Mirror Image. Misty Step is also good, but there are a couple of other ways that we can get Misty Step a little bit later on. So, in fact, we already have, I think, the Amulet of Misty Step. So, again, not super high priority. Especially given how incredibly limited the Warlock spells are. Shatter is pretty good. It's just flat out damage. Not my favorite. So I think we're going to go ahead and do Hold Person. It is a Wisdom save, which kind of stinks, but All right, and Pact Boon. This is where we come online with our weapon. So with Pact of the Blade, you can summon a spectral weapon to your hand in case you don't have a weapon available. And it uses the spellcasting ability modifier, which in this case will be Charisma. Really, whenever this comes fully online, you really just need Charisma on this fighter. And this is why this is such a powerful build, because you can just do Charisma and throw away everything else, basically. And then Bind Pack Weapon, you can... Oh, is there anything else on that one? Oh yeah, and so whenever you summon this weapon, this packed weapon, it can be whatever, but you will be proficient with that weapon. This isn't that big of a deal. But binding the weapon, whenever you do this on just any regular old weapon that you've got, the damage for it becomes magical, which is really good because there are some enemies that have resistance to non-magical weapon damage. So this allows us to really, get past that vulnerability. You can't drop it, which means that anything that tries to disarm you will not succeed, which can be really, really great. Another way this is pretty useful is if you are focusing on throwing weapons, because it will automatically return to your hand, but only after 10 rounds. So take it or leave it. But what we want this for is so that we can have the spellcasting ability modifier. Replace spell, we are not going to replace a spell at the moment. All right. I feel like we are only level 5 at this point. So once we get one more level, we will again take it with Warlock. And what that will do is that will allow us to... Well, first off, we'll be able to... get another level 2 spell, which will be nice. But not only that, but we will get the double Eldritch Blast. And an extra attack, I believe. Thanks to being a Pact of the Blade. Is that already the case? Pact of the Blade... What a reminder. No, not yet. So the idea with this is whenever you hit level 5 as a Pact of the Blade, you get an extra attack, just like you would with hitting level 5 in a martial class. But also, if you get level 5 with the Paladin, you also get the extra attack from that. And even though it says that those two do, like whenever you go to, in fact, I can't, let me just pull it up on Astarion. Extra attack. Oh, that might be just, I don't know what that is, where that is. Whatever. Oh, passives maybe. Nope, sharpshooter. All right, I take it back. But anyway, extra attack, whenever you get it as a martial class at level 5, it says that if you get extra attack from some other class, so like if you level up to level 5 as a fighter and then level up level 5 as a ranger, you will not get 2 extra attacks, you just get 1. And that is the specificity inside of extra attack. It says that they do not stack, but that is not the case with the Pact of the Blade Warlock. Whenever you hit level 5, you get an extra attack, and then as a level 5 Paladin, you will also get another extra attack. So this is a really good way of getting lots of attacks. Lots of attacks relatively early-ish, while still having like all the bonuses from being a part-time Warlock. All right. So that is the change that we wanted to do with Nerdad, and then we want to do Shadowheart as well. So let me get Shadowheart over to Withers.
Let's try this way.
And again, we're going to be pulling her away from Life Cleric and making her into more of a damage roll. And this is actually going to go pretty darn heavy into Storm Sorcery, with a little bit of a bonus from
Fate. Dost thou require a new
little bit of a
as
bonus
thou
from being
desire.
a Tempest Cleric. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to start her off as a sorcerer. And we will be focusing on lightning damage more than anything else. Like thunder will work as well, but mostly lightning damage. And then we'll switch over to Tempest Cleric for a couple spells. Or for a couple of levels, I mean. All right, sorcerer cantrips. We are definitely going to do, in fact, let me get rid of these. We're definitely going to be doing Shocking Grasp. Ray of Frost is always pretty darn good. And then we are, let's see. Mage Hand is always really good. Friends I have on Nerdad, so that's not an issue. Dancing Lights, maybe. Minor Illusion, always fun to have. Bone Chill is always good, but I don't want to go too heavy on damage cantrips. But, I mean, really, there's not too much that I'm going to want here. Acid Splash. Acid Splash can be good. It's AoE. We're gonna end up with quite a few cantrips, because whenever we take Cleric, we'll get some as well. Do want to keep Chromatic Orb. Just because Chromatic Orb, we can do thunder damage and we can do lightning damage with it. So that will actually be super useful for us. Next up, possible to do Witch Bolt, but Witch Bolt is not a super great spell. Like, it's really good first level because it does 1 to 12 lightning damage, and then if you concentrate on it and activate it, it will continue to do 1d12. So it's very efficient for one spell slot. You can do basically indefinite damage, 1 to 12 every single turn, which is slightly better than a cantrip every turn for the cost of a spell slot. So it's not my favorite, but again, it is lightning damage, and we are going to have some bonuses with lightning damage. I think I would rather do something like Shield. Magic Missile is always another really good option, because Magic Missile is just a really good spell. It is damage only, and you guys know me, I never want like damage only, but Magic Missile is a really fantastic spell. I think I'm just gonna go with Shield though. All right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to specialize in Storm Sorcery. And so whenever you cast a level 1 spell or higher, you can fly as a bonus action until the end of your turn without receiving an opportunity attack. Another really good option here would be to go with Draconic Bloodline and do a lightning-based dragon type. Just again, because that'll give you resistance. That'll also boost your lightning damage a little bit. But we're going to stick with a Storm Sorcerer. All right, abilities. Let's see. We're going to do... Let me go ahead and reset these. So we'll do 10 and leave Dex at 8 because we are going to be wearing like hefty armor. Put Constitution at 15 and we'll do Intelligence at 14. And part of the reason that we want Intelligence so high is because we are going to take one level of Wizard a little bit later on so that we can cheat the system a little bit and learn Wizard spells as a sorcerer so that we can have a far, far wider array of spells. I don't believe this is how tabletop D&D works, but I'm not totally sure. Anyway, it's a little overpowered. All right, but we'll max out charisma as much as we can. Let's see. Yeah, we'll stick with. Well, Gale's got Arcana, so it's not too big of a deal. There's really nothing I want to pick here because most of this is already taken care of by Nerdad. I mean, I don't like doubling the specializations on this, but it's kind of where we're going with this. Yeah, we'll do Intimidation. I feel like Intimidation is a little more Shadowhearty. All right. So for level 2, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and multi-class into Tempest Cleric. Cleric. How do you spell cleric? There we go. Cantrips. Yes, we'll do resistance. Yes, we'll do guidance. Sacred Flame. Don't really care too much about. We already have like some decent damage cantrips. And Sacred Flame, oh, man, it hits Dex save, which is like the worst save. It's just the worst save. And like most Dex save spells that actually use spell slots, they still do half their damage on a failed save. So at least like you'll still be doing damage, but for a cantrip that is all or nothing if they fail or succeed on their saving throw, I just don't care. I just don't care. It is nice having radiant damage just in case you need to spread out your damage types, but since she is going charisma, it is nice to have thaumaturgy so that we can get an advantage on intimidation and performance checks if we need to go that direction. All right, we are going with the Tempest Domain. Couple of cool things. So first off, we do get Thunderwave. Thunderwave can be a nice thing in a pinch. Thunderwave is better for a really squishy like wizard or pure sorcerer or range dealer or whatever, just because that will push away absolutely everything around you as long as they, don't succeed on their saving throw there. But that'll free things up so that you can move around. She's going to be wearing heavy armor, so I really don't care too much about pushing things away, but it is what it is. We get this for free, whatever. It is nice to have AoE. And then Fog Cloud is a really, really useful spell. More out of combat than in combat, but Fog Cloud's a really cool spell. And then for subclass features, this is why we're taking... this is one of the reasons why we're taking Tempest Domain. So as a reaction, strike back at an attacking creature dealing decent lightning damage or decent thunder damage, and the target takes half damage on a successful saving throw. So as long as I have a reaction and a turn, it is like guaranteed attack or guaranteed damage if they attack us. And it's actually pretty decent damage. All right, prepared spells. This is fascinating because she only has 10 wisdom, which means that she's only going to be able to prepare one spell. I know. Yeah. So in D&D 4th edition, Thunderwave was a little bit different. I believe it was a Cone, which again, still an AoE, and it did push stuff back, I believe. But it was a cantrip. It was one of the most useful cantrips that wizards could take in 4th edition. All right, level 1 spell. I don't know. We'll probably do like bless or command. Some of my favorites here. Yeah, probably not command because she has a low wisdom. The saving throw for this is going to be really easy to overcome. So we might just do bless. Bless is always really good. And we are going to take a 2nd level of Cleric, and the reason that we are going to take a 2nd level of Cleric is for our Channel Divinity charges here. So, with Channel Divinity here, when you roll Thunder or Lightning damage, you can use your Channel Divinity to deal maximum damage. This is so good. This is so good. So, what we're dealing with here is the lightning damage already deals a pretty crazy amount of damage, but being able, especially we're going to try to combine this with create water as much as we can, because anything that is in a water puddle, whenever you cast lightning damage on them, does double damage. So being able to use Channel Divinity to max out double damage is really, really overpowered. So yeah, this is the whole reason that we're taking 2 levels of Tempest Cleric. And for prepare spells, I will actually go ahead, instead of doing Cure Wounds, I will do Create or Destroy Water just to get ready with that. And in fact, I'm not going to do Bless. I'm going to do Healing Word just to be ready with that. Always good to have Healing Word ready to go. Okay, so now we are going to multi-class into Wizard. And again, this is why I was saying we're going to have so many cantrips. So we're going to take off Mage Hand, we're going to take off Ray of Frost. I'm going to grab Minor Illusion, that's always good to grab. Light, I feel like we have Light in a couple of other places, so it's not necessarily needed too much. We will do Blade Ward. And yeah, Poison Spray sounds good. Poison Spray sounds good. Oh, and because she is a half-elf, she actually already has Firebolt. So she has a pretty good array of cantrips. In fact, thinking about it, I probably should have her take the Friends and not Nerdad, but that's fine. That's fine. We can spread the cantrips around. Dancing Lights do not want. Yeah. So we'll focus a little bit on AoE cantrips just for the heck of it. All right. Spells. This isn't going to matter too terribly much. Just because we're going to be able to learn a lot of these spells anyway. We already have Chromatic Orb. Mage Armor we do not want. Grease. You guys know I love Grease, so I'll probably keep that. We'll do Magic Missile. We'll keep that on. Just because Magic Missile is pretty good. It's pretty good with a lower int. It's fine. We'll do Magic Missile. May as well take Witch Bolt at this time. And then, what else would be useful? Maybe Find Familiar? It's always nice to have extra familiars. We might do that. I think Find Familiar is pretty smart. Oh, and we do not want Fog Cloud. We do not want Thunderwave. I'm glad I saw that. Let's see. Shield. Oh, we took shield. We took shield with Nerdad, not with Cleric. Shadowheart. So one more. I think we're gonna go ahead and do maybe Burning Hands. Tasha's Hideous Laughter would be really good. We'll do that one. Again, there's a lot of overlap with her and Gale on these spells, obviously, but the more spell slots I can use to spit control stuff out onto the field, the better. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and keep Find Familiar. We will keep Grease, and we'll put Shield on as well. Well, once I summon familiar, we'll go ahead and replace the familiar with something like magic missile. All right. So now that we have 2 levels of cleric and 1 level of wizard, we are going to jump right on back to sorcerer, and then it's basically going to be sorcerer from here on out. So for spells that we're going to want, again, this doesn't particularly matter because we already are going to know a lot of these spells thanks to wizard. So you know what? We're going to go ahead and do enhanced sleep might be good. We'll go ahead and do burning hands because I do expect her to be up in. Yeah, Ghost Beauty. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do burning hands just because she is going to be in melee quite a bit. She'll be fine in melee, I guess. And burning hands is a good melee-ish spell. All right, meta magic. This is where the good stuff comes in. So we're gonna do twin spell. We're going to do distant spell, I guess. So twin spell. We haven't really talked about sorcerer meta magic. So let me talk about this. So what the sorcerer does is it has a certain number of sorcery points per level, and what you can do with these sorcery points is that you can actually enhance your spells that you are casting. So like, for example, we have got here careful spells. So what this will do is so what this does is whenever you cast like a large AoE that has a saving throw associated with it, which is going to be most of them, what you do is you do 1 sorcery point, you pay 1 sorcery point, and then your allies automatically succeed their saving throws against that AoE spell, which is really cool. It makes it so that you can cast these AoE spells safely with your party. Distant spell, you use 1 sorcery point, and it increases the range of your spells. What's really cool about this, though, is your melee spells, like Shocking Grasp, which is a lightning spell, is going to get a range of 30 feet. So these melees actually get a range, which is really, really awesome. Next up, Extend Spell. This is another fantastic meta magic feat. So it increases the durations of all of your effect spells, basically. Oh, and your surfaces, which is really cool. So again, 1 sorcery point, and it'll just, yeah, flat out increase the durations of things. And this can be super useful, but the thing is most fights are going to be done before this even is a thing. The really cool one, though, is Twinned Spell. Twin Spell is way more expensive sorcery point-wise than the other 3 meta magic feats here, but this is the most powerful one by far. So what this is your spells that target 1 creature can also target an additional creature, but it does cost 1 sorcery point per spell level. And then cantrips also cost 1 sorcery point. So what this means is that you can cast all sorts of cool things that are one target, and it will double it. So like things like Eldritch Blast is technically a 1 target or a 1 creature targeted spell. So that means that you can double the amount of Eldritch Blast that you get. And at level 5, well, actually, I don't know if that's gonna count. Well, okay, whatever. That's for a totally different build. Like if you wanted to make a Sorcerer Warlock, which is another really, really strong build, this would apply to the Eldritch Blast. And so like at level 5 Warlock, you'd be able to cast 4 Eldritch Blast per turn instead of just 2, as long as you have the sorcery points for it. But this is really, really useful for things like Haste, which normally is only targetable on one person. If you twin it, you can use 1 haste, 1 spell slot, and a few sorcery points, and target it on multiple people all in 1 turn. Really, really, really potent thing. And then, okay, replace spell. No, we are not going to replace any spells right now. So I don't know if you guys watch Critical Role. It's a D&D show, really, really high quality, done by a bunch of voice actors who get really into character. And in fact, the Dungeon Master of Critical Role has a voice role in Baldur's Gate 3, which is pretty cool. But there is there's a character in Critical Role who has a Texas accent, and he's a warlock, and he is known for saying Eldritch Blast, and there was a character with a German accent who was trying to imitate that, and it was pretty funny. But that's what Queen Lumarn is saying in chat, which is funny.
These things have stayed
Okay.
interesting.
So I think we are good with all of our stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and summon a bird, though. Actually, that is still a ritual, right? Yeah. Okay, good. And hey, check it out. We have got a bird. We have got a bird, which is just delightful. I'm gonna have to spend some time outside of the stream just to kind of lay all this stuff out. But what I want to do right now is
live in more interesting times.
Since we have a long rest coming relatively soon, I'm not going to worry about getting too many buffs back onto Shadowheart right now.
Let's have a look.
What we're going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and grab my bag of goodies, which apparently is not in the company chest. Oh, those can all go. Send to camp. Dang it. I am not totally sure where all of my unique items are. Here, they might still be in the traveler's chest. Let me just sort this out. We'll take that though. Oh. I don't know if that was there last time or if I just didn't see it, or if it was like sorted off somewhere goofy, but here's my deal. All right. So for Shadowheart, we're going to look for a couple of things. Actually, there's really not too terribly much that I need from her. Let me see. I'm checking my notes here. All right, so one thing that is going to happen is I will be giving her the Warped Headband of Intellect whenever she is learning spells. And in fact, I could probably sacrifice some of her intellect points or intelligence points and put them somewhere else, just because I will have that Warped Headband of Intellect. But it is nice not having it equipped and being able to still have those wizard spell slots or whatever. Okay. So the Warped Headband of Intellect. Let's see. I should have a Blast Pendant that I'm going to want to give to her. Yeah. Blast Pendant goes over here. And let's see. Spell Sparker. We are definitely going to be leaning hard into these lightning charges just to kind of give us some additional oomph. All right, Spell Sparkler. Let's see. Water Sparkers. I want those as well. And I think that is everything that I'm going to want for right now. All right. So Blast Pendant gets equipped. What did I pull off here? I don't know where I want to put these. Maybe on Nerdad actually. Oh no, I want Misty Step. All right, maybe on Gale. Yeah, let's go ahead and get that on Gale. Get that on Gale. There we go. All right, Water Sparkers. We talked about these before, but just to kind of remind y'all, like, so whenever you are standing in water, it becomes electrified, and then if you start your turn on an electrified surface, you gain 3 lightning charges, and those lightning charges are going to give us bonuses to attack, and they also deal just a whole bunch of extra damage over like over the course of the fight. So water sparkers go, and then spell sparkler is going to go on there as well. We are going to keep that shield on there. She's not going to be smacking stuff with spell sparkler too often. All right. So I have tested this build a little bit. I'm still a little uncomfortable with the idea of not having like a fully dedicated cleric, but again, the healing in this is so prevalent with potions of healing that I'm pretty okay with making this change. All right, and eventually we're going to get a boost to, or we're going to get some resistance to lightning and everything, so it's not going to be as scary to be standing in water where it becomes electrified, but that can be pretty useful. All right. Actually, let's equip Nerdad with some stuff. So, Gloves of Heroism, that's what I'm going to stick with on this one. Let's see. I think he has these gloves already equipped. Oh, no. Shadowheart has them equipped. But Gloves of Heroism, I'd rather have. Gloves of Heroism. Those are some pretty good gloves. So what happens with the Gloves of Heroism is whenever you use Channel Oath, which we should be doing quite a bit, you get Heroism, which is you receive 5 temporary hit points per turn, which is a really, really good source of damage soak. And then you also can't be frightened. I don't feel like there are too many enemies at this point in the game that will inflict frightened on you, but that is a nice extra feature. And then strength saving throws +1. I don't care about that too much. Not that big of a deal. Not that big of a deal. Whispering Promise, though. We're going to look for that. Oh, and Shadowheart has that equipped. So we're going to pull that off to the side. In fact, let me see what ring I do not want. Crusher's Ring is always really good. In fact, could put Crusher's Ring on Gale, just because he's a little short on rings, poor guy. All right, Whispering Promise. So whenever you heal a creature, it gains 1 to 4 bonus to attack rolls and saving throws. This is basically like Bless. So as a paladin, we will be healing stuff on occasion. It should work out pretty well. This is a little bit better with an Ancient's Paladin, but even still, it will be nice. We do have Lay on Hands. We do have Cure Wounds that we're going to be focusing on a little bit. Maybe I might stick this back on Shadowheart. We'll see. Well, I'll see how it feels. All right. I think that is all that I'm going to want for right now. Okay. So I think we're done with that respec. Let's go ahead and head back in here. And yeah, Sovereign Glut is still with us. So what we're going to do is actually I'm going to talk to this hook horror, since I can.
Monstrosity stares blankly forward.
Yep, that's pretty gross.
Can raise the dead. That's interesting.
All right. So Sovereign Glut is going to be with us until we take care of these Dwargar that are going to be down in this direction. And then there's also Balin nearby. That might be worth looking at right now, but we'll see. So Sovereign Glut is pretty cool. He can actually deal a pretty enormous amount of damage. He's got this multi-attack thing that, again, 12 to 52 damage. At this level is really, really good. And then, if we come across a corpse, we can use spores to animate it as basically a mushroom zombie, which is really good too.
Looking ahead.
It's too bad we don't keep them forever. Oh, and there's some stuff to grab. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and try to get Balin. Because this is a pretty interesting part here. So the key...
Almost like an invisible hand pulling me towards it.
All right, and we are near the susser tree right now, and we're gonna take care of that quite a bit later, because I don't want to deal with these hook horrors at the moment. I can't recall what level those are, but I think it's either a 5 or a 6. What? There's a random severed arm right there. All right, so we're gonna take Eldritch Blast for a spin here. So okay, Eldritch Blast is not only one of the best cantrips in the game. In fact, I think the best cantrip in the game. But in Baldur's Gate 3, it looks so great. Lots of things in it look great. And I may have made a mistake actually here, because I think that might leave the spores there. Okay, no, there we go. Grab. Oh no! Whoops. Didn't think those little ones were going to explode. Glut seems happy in there, though. Alright, because of that, I'm going to go ahead and Eldritch Blast. Oh, it looks so cool. It looks so cool. Oh, what the crud? Oh, and I lost my bird. I thought I was out of range there. Oh my gosh, Shadowheart, get out of there.
I must keep going.
No one stopped me yet.
Whoops. So this was my first fight of the day, was against a whole bunch of stationary mushrooms, and I think the mushrooms won. Just gotta wait for this stuff to clear. So I'll go ahead and talk about what's going on down here. So Balin is stuck in this big, huge patch of mushrooms. And so we have to be super, super, super careful about taking care of getting him out of there. And seriously, this is actually a very, very dangerous part here. All right. So what I'm gonna do? Oh, and here's the other thing that is incredibly dangerous. So if you trigger any one of these mushrooms, this entire area will get lit the heck up. But here is the real issue. There is a lit torch right there. So if you get too close to these things, not only will all of the mushrooms explode, but they'll also explode, and it will kill Balin. So we have to be extraordinarily careful. In fact, what if Glut's going to follow me?
How delicious.
Kinda don't want him to follow me. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. We'll use Astarion instead.
Watch your back.
So what we're gonna do here is we are going to get as close as we can.
Stop! Stop!
Yeah, there we go.
Bipper bang!
You recognize the name. Bibberbang, a mushroom that releases dangerous spores. Highly flammable.
It's true. It's true. This is quite a predicament you've landed yourself in.
I know that. Scroll. Escape. My bag, please. I've dropped it somewhere.
Hold tight. I will find your bag.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and save, and I'm going to show you one way of getting in and out of this place. So the easiest way to do this directly is to put yourself in turn-based mode. And And then what you can do is you can move past these things. And because it is turn-based and all the environmental explodey stuff only happens on the environmental part, you can actually move as close as you need to, get where you need to, position yourself where you need to, and then and be safe. But I actually want to try something that I have seen before. And that is that.
I'm not sure.
Let's see. I am going to cast Mage Hand. And what the Mage Hand is going to do is Galen's bag. Oh, actually, I don't need to be in turn-based mode anymore. Because the Mage Hand does not trigger these mushrooms. But what the Mage Hand can do is it can grab this pack and it can throw this pack over to where... Ah, come on, my guy. It can throw the pack where Balin can reach it. Where Balin can reach it. There we go. I thought it was just gonna sit there.
Oh, I'm all right. It's Alan.
So cool.
God.
So Balin shows back up here.
Time to rest.
And let's see if we can go ahead and talk to him.
Ah, right. What were you saying?
All right, what are you doing down here?
I was looking for Janet. She'll be worried sick. I must need to go. For you. Your trouble. Ta.
So, this was the husband of the alchemist, or the herbalist, or whatever you want to call it, over in the Myconic colony. The one that was looking for her lost husband. That is the guy. So, what I'm actually going to do is... Honestly, there's still some stuff that I want to pick up in this area, so... I'm going to go ahead and head in here, and I'm going to do the turn-based thing anyway. Should be able to move a little bit closer. No, I can't. No, I can't. No, I can't. All right. And I should be okay in this spot, maybe. I don't like the fact that those are fidgeting as much as they are. I might be in serious trouble, actually. Let's say what, I'm gonna go ahead and dash. And in dashing, I'm gonna go ahead and grab this torch. So that way it will not explode anymore, and then I'll go ahead and exit turn-based mode and we'll see what happens. Okay, cool. So those did not go up. So now I am going to go ahead and enter turn-based mode again. And I'll go ahead and move right in here. Right where Balin was. So the stuff that I want to grab is like this right here, this noble stalk, and then over off to the side there's a whole bunch of crystals that we can use for alchemical reagents, and so I'll be grabbing those. All right. So let's see how far I can go with an extra dash, because you can walk through these things. You can walk through this, okay, or not. That's fine. We'll just go in turn.
So that's progress.
And we get the environmental turn, and it should be back to Astarion.
Keep your distance, darling.
And tell you what, we're gonna go ahead and jump across so that we can get into this little safe space over here. Survival failed, huh? I wonder what that was supposed to be. Let's see. We'll go ahead and do dash. And try to get into this little area here. Pick that up, move back, in turn. Oh, geez, and those two things are like ready to pop. But they didn't. Okay, cool. now, go ahead and move down to this safe space down here. And we'll pop dash. Grab this chasm creeper. And I believe that I have not grabbed any of these loth candles so far, which is going to be great.
Still breathing, despite everything.
So I feel like those loth candles are relatively rare. Environmental turn and back to Astarion. And here we go. And there's a good amount of them over here too, so this will supply us for a little while. Okay. Looks like a couple of other things in here. A couple of oil. And I believe that is it. Okay, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and link everybody up, and we're going to get the heck out of here. Oh, no. I am so dumb. I am so dumb. Sometimes, you guys. Sometimes. I linked everybody back up with Astarion in the lead. Like a chucklehead. Oh my gosh. Thanks to turn-based mode, and I'll just teleport to camp. I am having the worst time with mushrooms tonight. My goodness gracious. And that's not a that's not a modern day euphemism or anything like that. Jeez, everybody's taking so much damage, I swear. I might have to short rest just to get everybody like relatively back up. Okay. So anyway, we did get a hold of this noble stock. We're gonna talk a little bit about this when we get back into the Myconian colony. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and talk to Dareth. Is that her name? I don't know what her name is. But she's over here.
Light on my feet.
And she's an herbalist. That's all I know about her. She's over here. She's an herbalist.
Balin, here you are. Did you bring the noble stock?
Do what?
Noble stock? The mushroom?
Oh, whoops. Did not want to talk.
Absolutely worthless. That old idiot.
All right. So now that Balin is saved, we can go ahead and talk to her and figure out what the heck is going on with them.
Very well.
Look at that. Got my useless old man back. I suppose that's your doing. His hands are empty as a whole. We'll have to send him back out soon enough.
It's a miracle he survived. You should take him home. Seems like there's no love lost between the two of you. Now that's settled, tell me what you're really doing down here. I'll do this one.
Please, Balin's got a job to do. We can leave when he's done it.
So, if you overheard the conversation between the two of them, she is looking for noble stock as well. Seems like there's no love lost between the two of you.
Love? Never heard of it. Balin's meek now, but he used to be a rotten old bastard.
Language.
Treated me like an old shoe for 70 years. Losing his mind was the only good he ever did by me.
So, yeah, this Balin guy was apparently a jerk before he went senile. Now that's settled, tell me what you're really doing down here.
Collecting noble stock. Valuable mushroom. We've a shop in Baldur's Gate. The locals go mad for it.
What makes it so valuable?
Nearly nothing it can't cure. Blindness, poison, hair loss.
Could it cure Balin's memory loss?
Probably. But Balin in his right mind wasn't worth half of noble stock. I know him better than anyone. Got the scars to prove it.
Yeah, this dude was a nasty guy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and leave. And we do get those gloves. Those gloves are really, really good on a monk. We don't have a monk. It's all good. So here's what we're going to do. So she mentioned that, or we asked her if it could cure Balin's memory. She said absolutely it could. But we have somebody in our party
Can't afford to stay idle.
that has some memory difficulty. So what we're going to do is we are going to let Shadowheart consume the Noble Stalk and see if it fixes her memory. Can't use this right now. Come on now.
Let's try this way.
Of course, it was Bibblebang.
All right, let's try this again. Can't use this right now. I don't.
You know, at least let's talk about it first.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about it first then.
May the darkness protect you.
You should eat the Noble Stalk, Shadowheart. Perhaps it could restore your memories.
I can't. My memories are being withheld for a reason. Lady Shah will return them to me when the time is right, no sooner.
Sounds like an abusive relationship.
Besides, mushrooms aren't my favorite. I think it's because of the gills.
They're your memories. You don't have to ask permission to know who you are. Ooh. Yeah, let's try it. Let's try it.
All right. Give it here.
Oh, she disapproves. Oh, dang. Is it working?
I remembered something. Not everything. It's new and not new at the same time. All jumbled up. I was younger. Much younger. An initiate at the cloister. I was upset about something. The others were teasing me, mocking my name. Like I wasn't worthy of it. There was another. A tiefling boy with short horns and purple hair. I think he was my friend. He tried to make me feel better. Ronald. That's the last part of it I remember. That must be his name. Perhaps he's still there in Baldur's Gate.
All roads lead to Baldur's Gate. Oh, and yeah. She's, for whatever reason, her hand started hurting again. All right, with that, you guys, we're gonna go ahead and end the stream for tonight. Next time, what we are looking at is we are going to go, and we'll be heading in this direction to take care of the Dwargar that knocked out Sovereign Glutt's circle. And part of the reason, well, we might actually hold off on that. This might be the last thing that we do in the Underdark, just because we're going to have Glut with us for a little while. So we can at least take advantage of it. So maybe we'll head in this direction, find the bark from the Susser tree. There are a lot of hooked horrors in that area, and those can be kind of nasty. So it will be nice to have Glut with us during that fight. And let's see, and that should do it. All right, thank you guys for joining. We'll catch you tomorrow.